However, it is a fantastic drama. Very, very good stuff.
Awesome. So Hecarim needs to be banned. I just want to go out and start with that. You can also first pick it. That's fine as well. I would be okay with that from the side of Nongshim Redforce. And I think there's valid criticism to be had of Nongshim's drafts, right? Where they give over the Sion, they give over the Hecarim.
Wait, can we just go back a sec? Sion made it through 5 bans last game, and now they've realized that it's a really powerful pick.
Listen,
cool.
My problem with looking at the game in that way is that I don't think it matters, and that's such a harrowing thought. But like the difference between I already pointed out how Damwon Kia, it feels like they're playing a different game, and I don't think I've seen it be as apparent as we saw there, where this team is just not comparable to any other team we have. You can just pick Hecarim again. Why
Yeah, that makes it tough, doesn't it? Well, Rel is going to get priority picked. The Kai'Sa will come through. For Damwon Kia, Canyon is just going to lock himself in the Hecarim. Oh, no, he's not. Okay, never mind.
I mean, honestly, I kind of respect this because Nongshim has shown that they don't want to pick it, right? Like, I don't know if Peanut doesn't like the champion, but here, as Nongshim, you have 2 choices. Either you pick up the Hecarim, and Peanut just got to make it work, right? This is, like, arguably the strongest pick at the moment. No, don't. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah. That's nice. No.
Okay, Nidalee Renekton? Is that what we're doing?
Sure. Yeah, I get.
No, never mind. Oh, really?
Oh no, the giggles are starting again, Atlas. It's not good. Okay, so I think that I would like to see a Hecarim pick up here. I think that you don't go for a top laner no matter what. If Showmaker wants to have some
Talon
fun,
lock in.
Sure, that's fine as well. But these are like we're just having fun, right? The Lilia is quite. Yeah, I don't know. Wait.
I mean, why wouldn't you just go back to the horse?
He's literally like
just straight schooled everyone on.
Yeah, Nongshim, I don't know, man. It's so hard because you want to believe that Nongshim are like they have a very clear strategy, they have a plan behind this, but the game that we just saw from Damwon Kia is a type of game where you should just throw all caution out the wind, right? Like don't. This man just had, I think you pointed out, 18 out of 18 kills, like 15 minutes in. He had an MVP performance, like. It was the most snowbally game I think we've seen this entire LCK split. Like, not even close. Like, this was the epitome of jungle diff, right? And Peanut has been looking way better, right? Like, I think his Lilia play was fairly shaky, but like, if you look at like the past couple of games, he's had multiple moments where he was actually one of the instigators of like Nongshim looking really good, of carrying the early game, and now you're giving Canyon the Hecarim again? I'm not one to hone in on the draft too much, and again, Canyon could probably not have Hecarim and still carry, but why do you have to make it so easy for him?
I mean, maybe there is a plan. I don't know, that's not a plan. I had to say something, right?
You do.
Oh,
I
my
agree.
goodness. Okay, well, Nara's going to be banned, and now I guess Showmaker takes Syndra because he's Showmaker.
That's why I'm kind of dumping that question on you, because I don't have an answer, Atlas. And
there isn't one, I don't think. I don't think that there is a simple way to really figure out why you wouldn't deny, one of the biggest reasons why you lost in game number 1. Outside of they have a way to completely change that up. This is something that I was expecting to be banned, to be honest. But Damwon Kia are happy to let that one through. Remember, there is no Sion available. But the Gragas could, of course, be sent towards the top side, and does actually work out fairly well into the Renekton, as history has showed us. Plus, you have a really good, array of damage with Hecarim coming up there and doing a lot of physical stuff to help things out, as that is an Aatrox. Honestly, right.
I like this.
I like it a lot, because then you put one of them top lane, and I assume Rich is going to be playing the Aatrox wherever it goes. And now we get to see exactly where Damwon Kia are going to be putting their champions, as that's a Jace. This would be harkening back to a style of Khan that we really have been denied for the past, a few times.
This would actually be really good. I don't know if he's like Damwon Kia has played it before, and I would quite like it. I think it's especially into like the heavy amount of AD. Okay, that's awesome. What's going to go where, though? Because I'm still not... Like, this might also be Rumble support. Most likely it'll be Rumble top Gragas support. Like, that's what I think is going to happen, especially with the performance that Barrel just had.
And it's also a rel, right? You're definitely taking Gragas into that lane.
Yeah. But I just want to have fun, Atlas. I want to see Rumble support. I saw it like a couple of times, and it was really, really funny to see. Main thing here, though, is that this, yet again, is like, it's basically a composition where as Damwon Kia, you're looking to get Prio, and then Canyon runs all over you. Because I think that the Renekton into Syndra matchup, like, it's very, very binary, where either Bay is able to get on top of Showmaker and like kill him or not. Considering that it's Showmaker, I'm going to say generally that will not happen. The lane is not as long, right, and it's a lot easier to get the lane in a safe position for you than it is with the top lane. It's also way harder to like stack these big waves that you often see on top lane, right, where someone gets zoned, you can stack the wave, and then you can dive in, which is one of the places where the Nidalee Renekton really excels. I don't think that's going to happen to Showmaker. Honestly, like, I just want to see the first 10 minutes of this game go down like relatively even, so that we actually have some game to analyze, so we can talk about, because there's a lot of cool things here. I think actually besides what they gave over to Damwon Kia, which I think is a problem, when it comes to looking at the draft that Nongshim have for themselves, I quite like it. I think it's cool, you know? It's like, it's skirmishy, it's early game fighting. You've already kind of shown that if you don't win the early game, you're not going to win the game no matter what, so might as well opt into that.
Give yourself as much power in the early stages as you possibly can find. I completely agree with you. Let's see whether they can actually make this one work. This time it is Peanuts Nidalee instead. He had the opportunity to take away the Hecarim, but he's decided that cats are better than horses. And here in Korea, where you don't have a lot of living space most of the time, cats generally are the better choice. As Khan's taken Rumble in the jungle because he's better. You know, better players take Rumble in the jungle.
It is an amazing
slightly avoided. He gets to put pineapples down on the ground. It's just the best. Everyone's always like, I want to be like the cool machine guy, but nowhere near as fun.
No, you know, Khan's just, he's off in his own lane. He's happy. He's drinking a cocktail from his pineapple. Yeah. You know, he's wearing like the nice, you know, like the short sleeve.
And if he runs out, he can just go to Beryl, and Beryl can give him a refill because he's Gragas.
God, it works so well.
Oh man, we even have lore synergy in this composition. Lovely. That being said, like, I actually think that, you know, Rich not going to have the hardest of times just because he's Rich on Aatrox, right?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Into a matchup that isn't absolutely awful. So we'll just have to see. Khan has actually played the Rumble recently. It's not like he's pulling it out like his Fizz pick where it just came out of nowhere. So we'll just have to see how he's going to make this one work.
Something that I think is interesting is that Peanut is pathing towards bot side again. Right? Like you have a Renekton and an Aatrox on your top and mid side. And I would have much rather seen him to try and get something done there, especially because Rumble will have the early shove. Rumble's trading pattern, of course, it's really strong, can get really aggressive, especially once he gets close to his first item. But it also basically means you perma-shove the wave, right? Because you're wrestling it with Flame Spitter, and then you get the wave push in. So that feels like a good opportunity to punish. I guess it makes sense considering that Dokdam traditionally is the carry for Nongshim, and Rich on Aatrox can actually kind of be left alone on an island just because he's so comfortable on this champion. But I don't know to what extent Ghost and Beryl are actually going to give you an opportunity to find an opening against them. So Peanut's pathing here. We'll get in the scuttle for sure, and after last game, I think just making sure that you don't run into Kane early is probably a good call.
Yeah, doing your very best to avoid the horse actually makes the most sense. To see whether he's changed up his skin choice. I personally think Christopher Walken from Sleepy Hollow is my favorite, which is, of course, the Headless Horseman skin.
That's really cool. Yeah. I think Akarim actually, like, he has a lot of cool skin lines. I'm not particularly fond of the Arcade one.
Yeah, Arcade's my least favorite. I think because it was given out for free to a lot of people, so everyone sort of had it.
Peanut hurt me.
All right, we're going to go for it once again. The crash down's good, but the spear somehow misses. Kaiser just a little bit too skinny. His first blood does go over to Beryl. Peanut able to hop out of there, so it's a 1-for-1 with Nongshim having their AD carry alive. That's definitely good news. Beryl actually taking a bit of damage here, misses the cannon. A little bit unfortunate as Ghost is going to march his way back to lane, but still I'd say that Nongshim trade up here.
It's a definite win. Like, obviously the mechanical misplay there, not really allowed as it is a stationary target that has been knocked up by the rel. But the most important thing is that the kill does go to Dokdam. Kalen dies, which is not the worst, and Ghost dies, right? So you deny a huge number of, a huge amount of CS. Dokdam gets a kill and a plate. And that's a really, really good start. Like, that is legitimately as good as he gets as Nongshim. I think they will still be at a gold deficit just from the discrepancies in the other lanes, which is interesting to say the least, but I'm happy to go for it. I was like, Peanut, why are you pathing bot side? Well, shame on me. That was clearly the answer to that question, was I'm going to dive bot lane early on, and it works out really well. Getting Dokdom fed, I think, even after last game, provided that Canyon doesn't get another of those monstrous leads, is actually the way that as Nongshim you win this game, because he has been the carry for this team. He's been one of the AD carries that is kind of standing out in a region with a lot of really good AD carries.
Yeah, a lot of big names.
Of course, some left, Viper, and Mystic, but we don't.
But
we don't
he's still popping off.
That's true. He's doing pretty well, so that's nice. Yeah, this is that's very unfortunate. I think that Kellen might still die, but it doesn't really matter, right? Like, it's just one of those plays where that should not happen. But again, in the end,
it was so close that I'd almost give it to him, right?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to be too upset and say, how dare you miss that spear, when it basically hit. It's just Kai'Sa was too skinny or something.
Yeah. Again, the most important thing when it comes down to it is, did the play work? It was not clean, but the play did work. Dokdom got ahead. He now is a wave up. He found a plate and he found a kill. And Dokdom is the type of player that can leverage those kind of advantages that he finds in the early game and then actually turn them into something. As Bay's actually doing really well in this matchup, not really falling behind, like roughly a wave. I think it might stay around that range and able to kind of deal with the harass.
That's a great body slam once again from Beryl as the aftershock is worn off. Kellen does have to be careful. The ignite barely not off cooldown yet for Beryl, so then unable to secure it. There's Dokdom getting a bit of extra damage here, switches over to Gravitum to get that stun onto Ghost. Trading quite nicely here, Nongshim this time around. So a very different story than what we saw in game number 1, that's for sure. As Canyon now thinking about grabbing some crocodile soup here underneath the turret. Does manage to get the cannon, but will he actually keep his life? As there's a beautiful stun, and Canyon says, no, don't really want to go for this. Not wanting to dive into the dark.
Love that. I think that if you overextend there, you might just get caught by Nidalee. Dominus also immediately put by Bay, so that's actually a really nice play. Like, no Dominus available means that Showmaker has a lot more threat on his back when he comes back, and he might be able to actually pressure the Renekton at least moderately. But get his back answer there, so nice play by Bay. Bay, you know, able to survive very well there. Paths towards his jungler. And Kenny not wanting to take a risk, doesn't really get anything out of that. That's, that's actually
is fine because Khan's right there.
Yeah, but it's really annoying. Like, really, really annoying. That's the second time his back is cancelled. At this point, he's wasted like not 20, 25 seconds. Still in the lane here.
Meanwhile, Khan just walking towards the Infernal Drake. By the looks of things, doesn't have his teleport available. Neither does Rich, as Rich is going to shove this wave underneath the turret. We'll see whether the Rumble can grab all of that farm. Probably will miss at least one of them.
Okay, I was like, he's going to do it, isn't he?
Turret dive to try and stop it.
I mean, just like you E in through the minion and you Q and then you E out. I don't know if Showmaker had the mana for a combo. They probably did, but he decided that regardless, it was not the call, which I think is the right play. You know, you don't want to get too greedy for that. An interesting thing about the Rumble, which is what I think it's interesting that we haven't seen it more, is in theory, like, you hear Dragon Meta and you're like, actually, Rumble sounds really good for that, right?
I mean, that's been his job for his entirety of time in League of Legends.
Yeah, right? Like, this is a pick that historically just wins Dragon fights because Equalizer is just ridiculous when it comes to those bunched up fights nearer in the jungle.
Yeah, and also it's scaling early as well, like, hit level 6, big power spike for the Rumble.
It's just... Oh, barrel.
Yeah, that's a crash down. Immediately interrupted as somehow Dokdom manages to land that Moonlight Vigil. Sidestep from Ghost is decent, but still takes some chakrams to the face. Nongshim will crash this wave towards the turret. Damwon Kia just doing their best to hold on.
At least it's a completely different game. And I'm happy because we had a lot of fun in game number 1. But I think 2 of those games in a row are not what you want to see.
No.
And we are actually seeing legitimate pressure coming out here. Now, let's take a closer look, because with this composition, Nongshim is expected to get the early lead, right? Like, this composition is so much raw skirmishing power. And like, the early levels are insane. The 1-item power spikes, the 2-item spikes are incredible. But then when it gets to later in the game, I think you might have some execution areas because you are a very short-range comp. And your main game is the Rel, which, while strong, I think can be carried away from the composition from Damwon Kia, especially because that Rumble and that Gragas, one will knock you away, the other one will be like, you're not getting knocked away, but you're walking into my literal death trap in the form of the equalizer. So kind of creates a problem later in the game if you go into a straight up 5v5 team fight. However, Nongshim can keep skirmishing, right? And like find 2v2s, 3v3s, take someone off. That's great. I say this as it will be a Herald trade. Going to Peanut, and hopefully the Drake going to Damwon Kia here. They do have position.
Yep, Peanut gets into the back of the pit as Canyon wants to try and take him down. Showmaker gets the stun, and it's just Damwon Kia locking down this Dragon. Showmaker with the sidestep, as there's a great attractor repel stun. Beryl getting taken down immediately in this fight, but it's a trade of these supports. Bay just trying to keep them at bay, unfortunately, as the Void Seeker does find the Crocodile on his way out. Gotta stop. Some of these, it's so hard. You know, it's like Rich when he's got a lot of money.
Bay when he keeps someone away. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I'm surprised we don't...
I apologize.
I'm surprised we don't make more jokes about Peanut. Like, it seems like it's such an...
Yeah, or Canyon based on the amount of jungle gaps.
Well, haha, we've never heard that one.
Yep, never done that one before,
no one has, I think.
Yeah, it's a real surprise.
The history of ever. Especially with jungle, right? Because jungle gap, such a thing.
Yeah.
What I don't like is the target focusing here from Bay, because watch Bay as he does get in. Beautiful engage from Callan here. We see that Bay uses his combo on Beryl, and I think Beryl is definitely not the guy to go for the situation. I think if you kill Showmaker there, which he also was on top of, and definitely would have died as well, you might be able to actually get more out of that skirmish. Instead, it's good disengage coming out from Canyon. There's no teleport available, otherwise you might have seen Khan join that, and then all of a sudden looks different as Rich goes in.
Yeah, Khan was in between turrets, a little bit disrespectful here, as you can see. There's the equalizer being put down respectfully, but the Aatrox just walks his way out. Really great exchange for Nongshim. As far as the top lane, only 5 CS behind is the Aatrox right now.
This is Rich on his comfort pick. We criticize his laning phase, but there's also a reason why his Aatrox is often banned, and we see it right here on display. He is able to, not just in laning phase, but like he really comes online once he has an item and like they start fighting, right? And they start grouping up, looking for these skirmishes. But as a whole, I think that Nongshim, this game, is looking a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think they learned that flipping it in early play is not the way. They, as far as I'm aware, had knowledge of where Canyon started. So that's also the reason why Peanut could go for that early bot lane dive, right? And unlike last time, not be afraid that Canyon comes in, picks up 2 kills, and immediately wins the game for his team.
Yeah.
Although Canyon still has a kill and is very far ahead. Oh, Daryl, baby.
That was one hell of a body slam. However, still needs to flash to escape.
Very nice. And Nongshim, like, they're playing around this pressure super well. They didn't get the Drake, which is unfortunate. They were able to get the Rift Herald, which is also netted them this gold. So as a whole, they're looking good. Much better than game number 1. This time, no insurmountable leads. And if Doctom can get first turret here, they're in a really good spot.
Yeah, Canyon's going to move on over. Does find Bay here. Horse versus Crocodile. The Kai'Sa not quite there in time to save the turret. So first turret going over to Nongshim. They're going to extend their lead a little bit further. It's above 1,000 right now. Damwon Kia not feeling like they have anywhere near the advantages that they had in game number 1.
The key for me here is that we haven't seen Damwon Kia fight with Khan there. And Khan is such an integral part of this composition, as that's a kill for us really early on from Doctom. And that is amazing, right? Because going into this game, going into this whole series, we said Nongshim, it's very clear. The skirmishing is good, but when it comes to real carrying, there's one man who got to do the job. Sometimes it's Peanut, but generally it will be Doctom in the bot lane together with his trusty sidekick, Callan. As
okay.
Get a bit of a pause. Not on us. Just want to clarify that. I love how immediately Jonas Strong is like, watch him clear this way.
It's gonna be the best.
Oh man.
Wow. He's even, like, that was impeccable. Perfect. Already the gameplay level has been upgraded.
Boom.
So let's take stock of how this game's working.
Doctom's a man untethered. Maybe now he actually can like 1v9 this game.
Indeed.
Could see it happen.
Well, Ghost and Beryl are up here to meet them on the top side of the map as we do bring up some vision. Khan!
Oh my god.
Goodness. The surprise rumble. I love Alcove Gaming. They sniffed it out. They sniffed it out.
Day 2 are Alcov gamers. I think that's the takeaway here. That's actually, I don't know if they, because this was a lane swap, right? Like the game is legitimately too long ago. I don't know if Khan just hadn't like backed yet, right? Because that's possible that he was
that's
still
probably
in the lane, and then Baron goes to walk into this lane, and then obviously you don't actually know whether or not Khan is gone. But considering the pause, that felt like a kind of moment.
It did. And it was very exciting. I think we were just ready to be excited after being bored for so long.
Yeah. Wait,
which I think is allowed.
Really? Is that how you? I thought we were having a nice conversation.
I mean, yeah, but I think wouldn't you prefer some League of Legends? I'm not going to take offense to that. That's totally fine.
I will. And I think what we see here now with the current state of the game is that what Damwon Kia is going to have to do is, if they don't find, do not. That is.
Yeah, it's not.
You're going to be okay. Rich is there. But we're going to be looking at some actual team fights, and Dogdom's position needs to be impeccable, because even though Canyon is not as fat, it's still Canyon on Hakarim with a kill and a CS lead, right? And then you have an Equalizer and a Gragas. If 2 out of those 3 things get on top of Dogdom, I think he's guaranteed dead. Like, it's just immediately over. So he needs to dodge those. This Drake you can definitely give up with Double Key. You already have the Infernal Drake. Mountain or Ocean are both amazing for you, but you're definitely going to let this one go. You don't really have to fight. I think you'd rather be getting some of your items available. Though fighting away from the Amphidos, I wouldn't mind as much, because without Dogdom, I think Nongshim's comp, it's still really strong in a skirmish, but again, if you actually like fight straight up 5v5, might go fairly poorly for them.
Yeah. I just want to add as well that Mountain Drake is Mountain Soul and the Mountain Rift, a direct buff to Rumble.
Oh yeah.
Is Equalizer now able to look at all these little corridors?
So many choke points.
It's crazy.
Love to see
Far
it.
too many. As Canyon is once again in his favorite place underneath the turret. Ghost going to join him. Goodbye. That's Canyon's second to be picked up as Rich teleports in and he's like, nah, mate. Not continuing this fight as Kellen has turned up as well. But I think we know who the better horse in this moment is.
You pointed it up earlier, and it's such a typical Damwon Kia thing. Like, it's so incredibly iconic that the moment that we as casters talk about something, we have full information, right? So for us, it's really easy, and like we're outside the game. So for us, it's really easy to see a situation like, hey, maybe they should do this. And Damwon Kia then always do that or something that's better than that. Like right here, we talk about Dogdom and he needs to carry. Canyon literally immediately sprints towards Dogdom as they go in here.
Yeah, Beryl actually going to break the chains by body slamming in. The Rift Herald has been largely forgotten, and it is stolen by Peanut as Kellen dives forward but not able to get on top of the eye. And now Bay's picking up kills. Beryl going to go down to Rel at the same time. It's a disaster for Damwon Kia. It's a great stun to come out from Showmaker, but unfortunately, too little, too late.
And I thought that was going to go amazing for Damwon Kia. They didn't have Dogdom in that fight as Nongshim, but regardless, here is the skirmish power.
Didn't use his Equalizer.
No, there's no Equalizer. There's no ultimate from Showmaker because they didn't expect them to re-engage there, right? Because I don't think that should necessarily work. But it did. And they went for it. And this is interesting because this is like a DRX-esque hard engage there, committing to that skirmish, committing to that fight with the power of your one item power spike on Rich, Peanut has his Night Harvester, and then Bay jumps in big, and all of a sudden, Dogdom was able to pick up the turret. I don't think you were able to pick up the Rift Herald? I don't think Callan got in there, based on him not having it right now.
No. No one has the Rift Herald. So
it doesn't matter though.
Unless it got slammed into the mid lane, I'm not entirely sure.
I don't know. We didn't see the end of that fight. So we'll see that again. The turret is down, so maybe that's what happened. As, yeah, Dogdom gets blown up here. We love this. That's great. And then I think that Damwon Kia, they didn't expect them to actually commit this hard. And you think it's over, and I think the moment that this objective actually gets taken is where Nongshim go, yeah, it's a spear. Like, Nongshim go, wait, actually, we can win this. And Rich and Bay are two incredibly beefy, strong bruisers. They go in and you literally immediately blow up 2 people right from the get-go. Meaning that Showmaker and Khan, like, they don't even get the opportunity because, again, if you just throw down an Equalizer there, like, in that choke point immediately, like, there's no way that this ever happens. But you don't expect that to happen. Like, we can maybe hold that cooldown for a subsequent fight. And now, this game, it's still Damwon Kia, right? Like, we are not getting overexcited, but Nongshim showing that game number 1, while Damwon Kia is amazing, that's not the games they usually have. That was a bit of a fluke. Nongshim is much better than that.
Absolutely. And I'm really glad that Nongshim is showing us that this is still the LCK, and they are here for a reason. And it feels like that's absolutely true. Rich does have an advantage. In fact, everyone, as you can see, has an advantage over on the side of Nongshim, as that's a decent scat of the week there from Showmaker. The flash will also save his life as the barrel's going to deliver the rel back, and that's a kill just for free over to Ghost. Very nicely done. The opportunity itself is Canyon now booking it into Bay. He's going to get delivered back as well. I actually really love the way Canyon laid his spells there, and he should just be able to lock down this kill. Not quite in Q range, as he's just spinning around, but he will eventually just collapse on top of him, and Ghost even picks up an assist.
And this is the one reason why we never bet against Damwon Kia, where we're never like, oh, they're definitely out of this game. The moment you overstep even a single inch, as you do right there, they pick up a double kill, and now they have tempo. They can push down this topside turret. Maybe they can make a rotation towards the bot side, right? And get some priority on this dragon. And this is something you can't make any mistakes against this team. The rest of the team is in the general vicinity, but Kellen is 5 levels down. The scatter is really nice. And then it's Barrel on his Gragas, which has just become like a more and more of a power pick, even in the support role. And then, yeah, that's Ghost. And the moment you hit a Ghost sound, you know it's pretty much over here for Bay. There's not a lot you can do here. And I'm kind of questioning the decision. I think that Nongshim also know that this is basically over, because you can see the moment that like Kellen and Bay go in there, the rest of the team is already peeling away. I think they recognize, like, guys, this is not,
this ain't gonna do it.
It's not working.
Well, Nongshim should be able to grab this Mountain Drake.
Yeah.
Going to do it pretty quickly as well as Damwon Kia, understanding that they don't have too much power right now. Still trying to scale into this game. Still slight advantages in CS for Showmaker, as well as Canyon being able to stay well and truly competitive in the jungle. Does mean that it's not over for Nongshim by any means, but getting these dragons is very, very good for this team.
The thing with Nongshim's composition is that due to the fact that Peanut is the sole AP source, he will actually hurt with the spears. Barrel will be tanky, but it's not like, you know, the sign that we saw earlier tanky, where you can just freely tank the spears at will. So if Nongshim play out these fights correctly, it's up to Damwon Kia to look for opportunities, right? And that can be in the form of a big flank, it can be in the form of a great Canyon engage, it can be a pick. Because what Damwon Kia, more so than a lot of other teams have done this game as well, is using Ghost and using his killer instincts. Because every time you see one of the players may go for something, Ghost, it feels like he's immediately there, right? Like he's always ready, finger on the trigger to jump in. And I think that's what you need here as Damwon Kia until later in the game, where you might be looking at someone like Ghost being able to just straight up 1v1. As they need to be careful. The big difference with this game and last game is I don't necessarily think that Damwon Kia actually outskills. Like, I think that they do well. I think they will hit the great spikes, but like, it's not like in execution and in champs, it's not really there.
You don't pick Rumble for late game, right? You pick Rumble for mid game. I mean, I think that Syndra is a similar option. And while Nongshim have like a few of the biggest sins that you can possibly have, they also have an AD carry with far more range than their opposition. So I think a lot of it is going to be on, you know, the amount of disruption that Beryl and Canyon can get done here, as Baron has been started. Wow, Nongshim really going for it here. I don't know whether they necessarily need to take a risk like this, but maybe they're just baiting into a potential fight. But, I mean, fighting around Baron pits, fighting around Dragon pits is exactly where Khan wants to be. He has teleport available, as Canyon going in a little bit deeper than he possibly wants to. He's going to disengage.
Poke Hecarim coming at you live.
Love it. Perfect.
This goes in. And this is, of course, the tank Hecarim that we've been seeing basically exclusively within competitive, where you can actually go for these kind of plays, right? And you can actually reliably engage. The movement speed that you get allows you to reliably still pull out a lot of DPS thanks to the extra movement speed or the conversion that you get from your passive. And this beckons the question to me, what exactly... Yeah, that's a painful one. Yeah. What exactly is Damwon Kia waiting for? Because you pointed out, I think that 2 item power spikes, which they're about to hit, right? Like maybe Khan can get his Zhonya's, which is looking like he's building towards. Maybe get the Sorkman boots as well, get some of the extra penetration. Showmaker hit a Void Staff. Ghost has already hit that mark. And then once you have that, look for a good opportunity. But it's Damwon Kia, right? So like they're very clearly, they're working towards a specific moment. I think it might be the next Drake fight, or if Nongshim overextends into a Baron. I don't actually think that against Damwon Kia specifically, they're going to get away with a Baron sneak. Like Damwon Kia's macro, I think, is too good. Like a grasp of when and how to play around objectives and when their opponents are doing them is, in my opinion, like it's too good. It's uncanny.
No, it's a bit silly. They're sort of like they've got they've infiltrated their opposition's base.
Oh yeah.
And they're into the comms. As Ghost is going to take a little bit of damage here from Doctorm if he lets him, but isn't going to. It's going to be trades in the mid lane, and the K-Ram's continuing. We're attempting to try and get as much farm onto everyone as we possibly can. You can look down at the numbers. Things are pretty close outside of Doctorm having a pretty considerable lead over Ghost. That hasn't really extended or dissipated at all. So, yeah, we are lull stating pretty hard.
And my problem with this game is this is starting to feel like the type of game where Damwon Kia are just going to find like the one team fight, like I'd say in like 10 minutes, and then win the game, and that's just going to be it. Like it feels like one of those type of games where it's just inevitable. That's really cool.
That's so cool. That is how much they care about Ghost.
Listen, I knew delivery was like popular in Korea, but I didn't know it was like.
It's not only popular, but it's also extraordinarily effective and efficient. So I can understand. You know, it's this is something that you can learn.
Takes some getting used to for me, but I can definitely see the value right there.
Absolutely.
And as Nongshim, you're basically looking to avoid one thing, and that's Doctorm getting caught, right? Yes, you want to fight. You rely on Callan to actually go for the engage, but Rich and Bay, they can go in deep, but the one thing is that Doctorm needs to be alive. Doctorm needs to be okay. He is the one carry that you can't afford to ever lose. And you know Barrel's going to be looking for him, right? Like that flash body slam, like Barrel has his finger on the trigger. If he ever sees even the slightest opportunity, he's going to go in. You're going to get hit by an Equalizer, a Killer Instinct, or a Canyon. And then you're basically dead. So this is a tense time here for Nongshim.
Yeah, let's see whether Damwon Kia can actually make this one work. Beryl and Khan off to the side, the rest of the team to the left. And you've got Rich and Bay. Both of them want to be tanking as Kellen is going to dive in on top of Beryl. He flashes out, body slams as well. As now Canyon possibly caught out of position, but Showmaker with a really nice scat of the week. And Rich once again on the re-engage. We're still holding on to all of the key ultimates. Damwon Kia understanding this isn't exactly the opportunity that they want to utilize.
Well, that's 3 ultimates gone for Nongshim, and they have to back off here.
Yeah, Peanut's still throwing the spears around. Khan's going to soak one of them. As Beryl spots out this trap that's put in the brush. Peanut now gets back to the rest of his team, so still threatening with that smite. As we have, once again, jockeying for position between these two teams. Khan trying to get that heat up as high as possible as Beryl comes in. There's the flash forward from Bay. Looks for Showmaker, but he's able to get out of there, and they're fighting on top of the Equalizer. Rich trying to be a hero, but he will just be cut down as Kellen gets Killer Instincted on by Ghost. He's kiting around the back of this fight beautifully as Canyon locks down the Dragon. Bay now looking for more as the health bars of Damwon Kia are so low, but Doctorm can't do it, and they somehow finesse themselves another team fight.
Damwon Kia is so good!
That was despicable.
They're so good. What am I... Unbelievable. I just can't with this team. Legitimately, the fact that... Listen, it starts off. They know the limit so well. They go in, they bait out a couple of the ultimates. Barrel flash... It looks like he's dead, but he's able to flash out. And then they play it slow. They look for the re-engage. They look for the opportunity. But the fact that they're able to make Nongshim like use their ultimates and then subsequently still jostle back for position and find that team fight is just insane. Like I can't get over it. Because Barrett looks like he's dead, right? And then this pullback happens. A lot of other teams would have used the Equalizer here in this choke point, and then Nongshim would have kited away, backed off, and then maybe looked for another opportunity. And then here, Nongshim are the ones who actually pull the trigger. It's Bay who goes in together with Callan, but Ghost, Showmaker, and Khan are all completely fine. And then you get a situation in which that Equalizer, it creates a huge no-go zone. And we talked about Ghost, you know, he's maybe not the biggest carry. Oh. Well, let me tell you, that Killer Instinct was just beautiful.
Supercharger being online as well is just utilized so perfectly for Ghost. I actually feel like Ghost has had some of the best Supercharger uses. We remember when he actually saved the game on the doorstep of their own Nexus being destroyed. Actually, correct me if I'm wrong, but that might have been against Nongshim as well, weirdly enough.
I don't remember.
But I mean, that has happened, you know, regardless of who it was against.
And this is the thing we were talking about, and like, I love that we get this game, because I think the first game, like, it was a lot of fun, but two of those games you don't want to see. Because this is Nongshim legitimately, it's not Nongshim making a huge mistake there, I think. Like,
this is forcing Damwon Kia to, you know, play like the championship team that we know them for.
Yeah, like, I don't think there's any other team that can get away with this. Like what Damwon Kia just did. I think a lot of other teams, they will funnel in the wrong time. They will walk into the Renekton.
I think Canyon not hard engaging on the back end of the fight is a real example of how good he is. He is going to hard engage now, feeling like they found Peanut. He's going to go golden. Ghost is here with the killer instinct. Now looking to try and get out. It's a great body slam for some high value as Kellen, unfortunately, not going to be able to hold on to his life as Ghost is kiting as best he can be asked to deal with two of these burly boys. And he's going to be taking down Beryl. Is also going to fall now as Showmaker off to the side, a little bit out of position, and Canyon is cantering out of this one, doesn't want anything to do with it. And now 2 Barons gone, and a lot of that pressure has been dissipated.
It starts out looking good. I was about to say, Canyon, do you really want to go for it?
I mean, it's still a 2 for 2, so this is a 3v3, but Doctor's still alive. He is a lot of damage. As you can see, Showmaker just going to get popped. Calibrum Crescendum, ladies and gentlemen, it still makes you feel those 200 years from before.
And this is why Dogdom Zephelios more often than not has been on the ban list. This man is just something else on this champion, and that means the Baron power play, yes, it's still good, but I was honestly expecting this to be a back-breaking moment for Nongshim, and it isn't quite yet.
Hasn't been the case. So we're going to have a look at the replay. As Canyon, as I was talking about him being reserved and not going in, he goes in.
Without any reserve. There's a nice stalling there from Peanut. Normally this fight feels a lot better, but Doctam can't really get in. He still can do some damage from over the wall, but he needs to kite all the way around fancy that equalizer. Showmaker isn't in this fight though, and Doctam is just free hitting there, being protected by Rich and Bay, who at this point in the game are still like, they're super reliable threats, right? Like this is the 1-2 item spike on Renekton and Aatrox. It's something that we've talked about again and again and again on these two champions. Yeah, that's...
Sometimes you hit it. Sometimes you really do.
I mean, I feel like he should not have been allowed to hit that, right? Like, I can't.
Yeah.
And I think it was Kenya right there. They could have probably tanked that, and they didn't. Which is,
I mean, it was squeezed right in, like it was a
I don't
a goal, a strike.
Take credit away from Doctor. Yeah, field goal, right? Like in between the.
Yeah, straight through the post.
I don't know.
That's 6 points in Australia. Don't know how much it is anywhere else.
I don't know really anything about American football or rugby. Like
oh, neither do I. Okay. Apart from the TV, apart from the movies and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But often movies don't really tell you all of the rules of the sport.
Oh no, they don't.
And I watch them generally more for the emotion rather than for the actual sport.
Canyon.
Yeah, Ghost taking a bit of damage here as, yep, there are just chakrams flying from off screen. Yeah, welcome back. As thankfully, no more chakrams as Canyon is hiding behind a little rock. Love that, it's real cute.
He's like S-moving consistently on Hackram, like it's actually insane. Like he walks up and then he stops and he's trying to bait out stuff.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Well, now I've got another fight around this dragon. Let's see whether Damwon Kia are going to be able to do it again. It looks like Nongshim have started this one up. Probably not going to be baited into the same situation again.
Hung's overheated.
Off to the side, yeah. This could be an opportunity to go in, but not going to take it just yet. Now Rich just testing the waters over and over again. In fact, everyone doing the same thing as Ghost gets the flash out of Rich to get him over the wall, but that's now no more Killer Instinct available. Here for Damwon Kia, there's Scatter the Weak, now on cooldown as well, as it is Peanut that locks down the Mountain Drake. But now Doctam has to keep himself alive. Canyon just too much CC, gets into the backline, eliminates the Aphelios, and now this should just be Damwon Kia being able to wipe them out. There's just not a lot of disengage options for this Nongshim team, and Peanut has been caught out of position as well, spotted with the Void Seeker. And Khan, yeah, he can't get over that wall, buddy, unfortunately. And Rich is going to be left alive for the moment. Now looking for the Aatrox, but Rich not going to go down just yet. And you can see Ghost in that mid lane, trying to get that work done. All right, Barrow going to come back down as well, as it looks like the bottom lane is where we're going to be focusing. No teleport available outside of Khan's, but he's already here. And inner turret falls in the mid lane. So, Damwon Kia moved to about a 4,000 gold lead, and Baron is up in another 25 seconds. But Nongshim have Mountain Soul Point.
Honestly, I'm surprised that Damwon Kia is actually able to make it work. And here we see kind of the problem I was talking about earlier. Like, Rich and Bay, they're really good at diving into the enemy backline, right? The Renekton did the most damage for Nongshim in that fight. But what does that mean? It means that Doctam is off on his own, right? Like, the rest of the team can't join in. Barrel is keeping them busy. And that means that Doctam is on his own dealing with a Thad Hacker in. And it's Kenyon's Hacker in, right? So that just means certain death. And then, yes, Bay gets the kill on Showmaker. Yes, Rich was able to like soak a lot of damage initially and draw 2 people away from the fight. But the fact of the matter is, there is a reason why we always talk about why Aphelios is so good with this pick. Sorry, why Thresh is so good with the Aphelios. It's to avoid exact situations like this where Nocturne, even in a scenario where like Rich and Bay do peel for him, like, is that really what you want your Renekton to do? And your Aatrox, like, stand in front of an Aphelios?
No. The Baron's almost dead, by the way.
Yeah, it's gone. No,
that's been taken. Ooh, that's an equalizer. The Pineapple's pretty tasty there, as Nongshim give away a lot of their health bar for them. I'd pay that price, though. Pineapples are delicious, as Peanut is going to get... Sorry, Rich gets barreled by Beryl. And now Rich is going to dive on in. Finds the Infernal Chains, and Beryl's not going to find too much there at all. It was a bit of a party cast, but not the party that he wants to be attending, as Ghost looking to get out of the way. 2.5 minutes on the Drake is a little bit unfortunate here for Nongshim, as they want to be able to utilize this advantage, but there's Baron that is going to be stalled for a large amount of time here, with Beryl being caught out.
And there's an unfortunate situation here for Damwon Kia, because the tempo that you get is pretty much gone, at least for like the first minute here. Might still be able to get a lot of value out of it as Peanut clears up the enemy jungle. And I think you can possibly still find an inhibitor. I don't think it's the worst, but it's unfortunate, right? Beryl, even if you hit the cast there, you are probably definitely still dead.
Yep, the old probably definitely, love it. Oh, Canyon running around.
He knows. He knows?
Yeah, he's face checking 4 people though. Maybe he's just not that strong, as he's gonna ult, trying to run away, not gonna get out. Aphelios is there, has enough damage, and that's an uncharacteristic whoopsie.
I was giving credits to Damwon Kia for recognizing that.
I call that a caster curse.
Yeah. I was gonna give credit to Damwon Kia for like recognizing that regardless of the game state, if you botch one engage into an Aphelios, like, he will blow you up. And goes!
Yep. Well, he's going to use his ulti, and now Rich may just be taken down. Yes, okay. Showmaker's going to be able to lock that one up, and it looked really bad, but instead, Ghost basically just gets a solo kill.
Looked bad, but was good.
Yeah.
Classic.
It's like Mordekaiser from the last game of the last series.
Yeah. I honestly, that's still some of the most mental fortitude I've seen in a while.
Oh, yes.
Although the fact that Nocturne is like still trying his best to carry this game, even though he's playing against Fed Heckering from Canyon, is pretty impressive. Yeah, not sure. Beryl, I feel like is getting... You know he's there, right? Like, this is not coming as a surprise, so just a little bit greedy. I think I really like the forwardness from Rich there as well. Again, Canyon, like, he sees the people. Right, you can
yeah,
see,
he saw everyone.
Like, even if it's just 2 people, that's still not something you do. And as you say, uncharacteristic. But the main takeaway from this is, and as we see here, it clearly also goes. So the classic, you think you're flanking me, no, I'm flanking you type of scenario. As yeah, that is.
That was Showmaker's ultimate that did it. The last few hits of damage, but a lot of it was just done by Ghost.
Soul point, Mountain Soul in this team, there's a lot of beefiness, and this.
Oh yeah, this makes the bruisers into tanks.
Oh,
that's what it feels like.
That's a problem.
It's certainly high value, as Damwon Kia definitely wanting to try and take that one away if they can. The Drake now just making its way into the pit, and Rich wrapping around, looking for a potential flank. He is spotted on a ward. Canyon running real fast. Beryl's going to take a drink. Should be okay here. The Baron getting taken down so incredibly low. It's going to be stolen somehow by Beryl. Not sure how that one works, but it worked. Rich now looking for the backline as Killer Instinct goes immediately swapping position. The Magnet Storm, very, very good. And the GA will keep Ghost alive for a little while, but I don't know whether he'll survive. Supercharge is going to do it. Of course he's going to survive. And Bay will be taken down as well. It's a double kill. And now Rich is going to get burnt down by a celebratory Night Harvester Rumble. Just looking to try and finish this one up. And this is going to be an ace. This could potentially just be the game. It's 37 minutes.
And this is the best example of reverse curse I've ever seen, where we're like, you know, Ghost, he's really stable, he's really good, he plays stuff like Senna, and then you see this Kaiser performance.
That was so sick, though. He gets completely surrounded, and then goes in to try and nuke down his lane opponent there on the bottom side of the map. Just beautiful stuff.
And honestly, I'm super impressed by Nongshim Redforce. I think they went for a off-the-wall draft. I think they executed it fairly well, right? They played to their routes. But Damwon Kia is just too good. This is without a doubt the best team in the LCK.
But this was competitive. That's what makes it so important for Nongshim.
Because Nongshim is still, and this again, like we said this with Los Santos, I'm going to say it with Nongshim again, this is a game as Nongshim. You learn so much from this. When you go back, when you look at the VOD, there were moments there where you're actually winning against the world champion